As we mentioned, Cameron Dill had to run out to a family emergency, and I'm like the third string quarterback because Cam was the backup for John Park, and John Park's not here, and then Cam had to leave, and so no, I actually don't play that much football, but all my analogies are today. So I'm going to talk to you really quickly, but not terribly intelligently, and I apologize for that, about Loveless and Lead. But I'll tell you what I can. So if you don't take anything else from these next 10 minutes, grab John Park's contact information off of this first slide. So John Park is Senior Education Consultant Policy Advisor with the League. John has been a city manager. John has been a chief of police. John is an expert in this field. If you want to talk about policing issues, if you want to talk about public safety, if you need advice on city management stuff, John is a great resource for you. So if you tune out for the next 10 minutes, I will completely understand, but take down John's contact info. Loveless and Lead it came out really of the effort after the George Floyd issues in Minneapolis. And I do have some great stories about that time period when I was up at the Capitol and we had hundreds of police officers up there. I actually had a sniper nest outside of my office window at the Capitol when some of the protests were going on. It got really funky there. But the League worked with various groups and created this Loveless and Lead outreach effort. And so you can see the task force, people that the League has teamed up with and worked with and consulted with, working with Department of Public Safety and all these people here, I won't read them all off, all these organizations, to come to better understanding, to find out what we need to do to help in the policing sphere, to help what we need to do with public safety, and also to understand. That's where the listen part comes in. You need to understand what's going on out there, what are the attitudes of the public, what do we need from our officers. And so I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes trying my best to share some of the survey results and some of the things that we learned. So there was a survey fielded October 22nd to November 11th, and I will let you read all of that if you want to, but it was, you know, a very good survey with good survey practices, best practices in doing the survey. Carson understands this slide, Molly does, some of you probably do. I won't pretend to understand everything on this slide, but it was a really good survey. That's what you need to take away. And here's some of the results. So done with Y2 Analytics, they do a lot of great polling around the state. The question around the trust in law enforcement is high in Utah, but varies by age and race. So if you look at the breakdown there on the right-hand side, you can see 50% of whites, 35% of BIPOC, it's black, indigenous, people of color. Trust law enforcement a great deal. You see there's a breakdown there, rural, transitional, and urban, not too much difference. But look at that bottom one there, boomers, Gen X, and millennials. And you'll see a trend start forming here where it's not just across racial lines or ethnic lines, it's across age as well. Our young people aren't really excited to become cops or work in public safety. Our young people, regardless of race, don't have a great deal of confidence. And so that's something we need to be aware of. Loveless and Lead survey results. Majority feel decreasing police budget would have negative outcomes. This is another interesting one. Look at the top there. And I want to compare the 54% of BIPOC agreed with that. But look at the bottom, 50% of millennials agree with that. So again, we have some work to do in this area. I feel like I just get to get up here and give you all the slides. You're like, oh my gosh, there's so many problems. That's all right. I want to show you the results from this one. Please rank why you became a police officer or firefighter. 1 being the most significant, 6 being the less. That was the question. So there's a whole lot on the slide, but I want you to look, if you can, I know it's small, but desire to serve, and look at the very top one, desire to serve still really big there. So there are people who have a desire to serve, and there's various other motivations to serve in that field. If you were considering leaving your current public safety agency, is it to go to a different public safety agency, different industry, unrelated to public safety, or retire? So then we've got the age breakdowns there. The orange one is 21 to 25, gray is 26 to 30, and then it keeps working its way up there. So I want you to look at these bottom ones, or these ones on the left. Different agency, and then look at different industry. You've got creeping up to 50% of people in the 31 to 35, so some people with experience. The blue, 36 to 40, people with experience. These aren't right out and these aren't at the end, who are looking at going to different industries. Please rank the following actions your agency could take to help retain your employment. What's number one on that one? Far left, you see increased pay is ranked number one, and not by even a close margin. And that's whether you're a tier 1, tier 2 employee or all. That's pays the big one up there. And then this one's kind of sad and very interesting though. I would recommend a career in law enforcement / firefighting to family and friends. Look at the bottom one. Strongly disagree is the biggest one when it comes to that question. And then here's another breakdown on that. I would recommend a career in law enforcement, firefighting, family, friends, and this is broken down by age. But again, without age, you see where that big bundle is there on the far right, on the strongly disagree. So I say all that again, my goal here is obviously to get you out of here on time and then keep you up at night about issues. But this is an issue that we have to deal with. Again, we have Loveless and Lead as one of our initiatives to help with this, to listen, to find what the solutions are, to work with the different various stakeholders and groups. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this is something that we're going to see. You're going to see bills this year that deal with retirement and look at retirement. One of the discussions we had in lunch is about different cities and different agencies poaching each other's officers, and also the race that everybody has that when it comes to pay rates, because we know that the cities are trying to raise rates, but then other cities around them are raising them and stealing officers. So there's a lot to deal with in this space, and something that we're going to have to look at and deal with, because we do have an issue, and it's generational, where we have people not wanting to become police officers, firefighters coming up. We have people leaving the industry, and we've got to figure out what we need to do there. Other things we need to deal with: use of force, civilian overview, building trust, and other. And I apologize, John Park would say some really, really intelligent things about this right now, and I'm just throwing the data at you. But again, please reach out if this is an area that you have concerns in, if this is an area that you want to help work in. Please reach out to John, reach out to us. We want to continue in this effort because we have work to do there, but I'm also confident that we can find the right solutions to get the work done.